Water changing is an important part of maintaining a saltwater tank, and the device you should have on hand is a siphon tube, or called a gravel vac. It's basically a siphon tube with a wide end that helps percolate like sand or gravel so you can pull debris out of it. And the official way to get it started is to place the tube in the water and fill the tube with water, and then start again so you have all the air out of the tube. You should place the bucket somewhere handy so that you can control the flow with your thumb. Usually I place it on a chair or another, my salt bucket. And with a live sand bed, you really don't want to disturb the sand too much. You can disturb a section if you see some debris that you want to get that's inside the sand bed, but generally you should just vacuum along the top like this, and this will pull up some of the debris that's on the top, maybe some algae that's growing or fish waste. Or you can use to pick up leftover food before it rots and causes a problem in the tank. Also, you shouldn't go too crazy with this. Probably just do a small section of the tank at a time. This is a 55-gallon tank. I'll probably remove 4 gallons, and that's enough of a water change for a week since everything's been going really well in this tank. It'll also give me the opportunity to adjust the salinity because the salt has gotten a little saltier than I want it to be. So when I add the water, I'll add water that's not quite as salty and slowly drip in some RO water, which is purified water, which we have to use around here because our tap water has a load of phosphate in it. And what's going to limit how much you do isn't like how satisfied you are with how clean the tank looks, but basically that 3 or 4 gallons of water that you're removing. Once you do that, you should probably stop. As the sand goes up the tube, I'll stop it with my thumb and allow it to fall back down. And that's actually about 3 gallons, so I'm going to stop right there. So I'm going to add the water in a little while. The next step is to clean some algae. And you can do it with a scrunchie pad on a stick, which is a handy way to do it. This will get away most of the soft algae. I have some tough things in this tank. There's some snail eggs that are deposited on the glass, and also some coralline algae that I don't want on the front glass. That's a little pink spot. That's not going to come off with this scrunchie pad. But this will get away some of the green algae that the snails weren't able to clean up completely. And I'll do the whole front with this first. But to get the really tough things, nothing beats a fresh razor blade that you can get at your local hardware store. There are also some made specifically for saltwater tanks out of stainless steel, and they'll last a little longer. Because this blade, it's inexpensive, but it'll probably rust before the day is out, so I'll be throwing it away. And this razor blade will get rid of the coralline algae spots and the really hard algae. And yeah, it's time consuming. This is a very small blade. It's a little over 1 inch wide, and we have a 4-foot long tank. And of course the fish aren't going to be too happy about me doing this. One consideration is if you have poisonous fish or aggressive fish, you have to keep them at bay. I have one tank where the triggerfish come up and bite me. They think I'm feeding them. And basically, you get the idea. One thing not to do is to go too far cleaning the tank. You know, it's important to clean your front glass and maybe a side panel, but especially if your tank's really dirty, you just want to get the basics out and not disturb the water chemistry. Sometimes I find people do too large of a water change and clean too much of the tank and basically lose their cycle. So, the algae is actually consuming ammonia, so until the algae grows on top of itself and starts to die, it's not really a problem. So you basically want to remove some of the algae and do your water change, and if it requires more, do it again a little bit later. Don't try to get it all done like you're done for good, because maintenance is a constant thing. As a finishing touch, would clean the outside. I would take a damp paper towel, it's a spray bottle with water, and just wipe off any salt deposits. This is salt that is built up here, and it's all right if a little bit falls in the tank, but we're going to replenish the salt with our water change, so I'm just going to discard this right now. And then the outside of the tank, the squeegee is very handy to have. Spray the front of the glass and just kind of squeegee it. Let me finish up with a paper towel. I'm going to wipe off all the drips and any of the water that's fallen off. And then basically just take your pre-mixed salt water, add it back to the tank, and the next step might be to attack cleaning the filter.